text says that if Nick cleans the place overnight, he'll have his car fixed for him in the morning. That sound good, Cagester?
Hey guys, my name's Dan, and today's reaction is Willy's Wonderland 2021 kill count. Now normally what I do with these is I talk about the movie a little bit before getting into the actual reaction, and I save all my thoughts towards the very end of the video, but I feel like if I say anything at all here, I'll give that all away. So we're just going to skip all that. I'll leave all my thoughts towards the very end of this, so if you want to see that, timestamps for everything are down in the description. But before we get into the actual reaction itself, if you enjoy other kill counts, I've reacted to so many of them for you. And if you want to see future reactions that I do, you can go right below this video, hit that like button, the subscribe button, and notification bell. Because not only does it give you access to past, present, and future reactions that I do, but also helps my channel out a ton, get some more eyes on it. Then go on over and support Dead Meat if you haven't already. I'll leave a link to the channel down in the description. Now, without any further ado, let's go.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Willy's Wonderland, released in 2021. And yeah, I know I previously said I couldn't cover this due to copyright stuff, but let me tell you, man, that shit is always changing, and there's not really any rhyme or reason to it. Willy's Wonderland is about a bunch of killer animatronics, similar to the Banana Splits movie, which I've already covered. Both Willy and the Banana Splits are clear homages to Five Nights at Freddy's, the popular video game franchise that pays my buddy Matt Pat's bills. A movie adaptation of Five Nights has been talked about for years, although there has been more concrete information coming out of Blumhouse lately, so hey, maybe it's actually finally happening. In the meantime, we have similar stuff like this. Although first-time screenwriter Geo Parsons says his inspiration was a family entertainment place called Boomtown near Reno, and creepy shopping mall Easter bunnies. Willy's Wonderland takes place in a Chuck E. Cheese ripoff, where a band of animatronic animals murder unsuspecting sacrifices sent there by the local townspeople. Their latest human bait is a silent, nameless janitor played by national treasure Nicolas Cage, previously seen on the kill count in the absolutely phenomenal Mandy. Cage has been having a lot of fun in his career lately, and it's a bummer that he doesn't have any dialogue in Willy's Wonderland. Yeah, it's a conscious choice that's brought up and brushed aside several times.
Where'd you say you're from? Oh, you one of those guys don't want to look back, huh? Yeah, he don't talk much. And I respect that.
I guess it's kind of funny, but I feel robbed of his unique line deliveries. Cage was super into it though. He got the script on a Friday and agreed to take the role that Monday. He even prevented producers and executives from making changes to the script since he was so in love with its weird comedic tone.
I like things that are absurd.
I mean, I do too, but for me, this movie feels like all sizzle and no steak. Director Kevin Lewis shoots it in that kinetic Edgar Wright kind of style, with lots of push-ins and montages full of quick cuts. The look is super stylized, with ultra high contrast and a bleach filter, which is obviously intentional, but doesn't work for me. Even more off-putting though, is that the movie seems to coast on its premise. Willy's Wonderland needs you to buy into the idea that a silent Nick Cage fighting fursuits is awesome. And that could be awesome for sure, but it never does anything more with that initial idea. In the many fight scenes, choreography is replaced with shaky cam, and the supporting characters aren't just bland, they're downright senseless meatbags. Even though it's got a short runtime with action scenes sprinkled throughout, the pacing somehow feels slow, with a very rinse and repeat sort of structure. But that's just my opinion. Many people loved Willy's Wonderland, and it does have good production design and a few pretty solid kills. I also respect that it overcame a small budget and short shooting schedule, which was actually a blessing in disguise since production wrapped right before COVID shut everything down in 2020. Finally, even if I didn't personally care for the movie, screenwriter Geo Parsons is a really cool guy. When I first tweeted about the copyright issues, he went out of his way to help me try to find a workaround. Not every filmmaker does that, and I immensely appreciate the effort. How many malicious mascot murders will... Oh, shit. Hold on. Let me get that.
What? Hello?
Trick or treat! Wow, what a great costume. Here, little guy. Take what you want.
What are those?
They're today's sponsor, Dr. Squatch.
Ah, well done.
Dr. Squatch. They've got you covered for all your personal hygiene needs. They make soap bars, deodorants, and hair care. And these are their limited edition Halloween products. The returning classic Brick of the Dead bar, of course, plus the all-new Werewolf Wash bar and Stick of the Dead deodorant. Okay, but plus, it's made of 98% natural ingredients, unlike all those generic body soaps that contain harsh chemicals. Take this all-new Werewolf Wash bar, for instance, which includes orange eye, black wolfberry, and forget-me-not seeds. Here, get a whiff.
Ooh, that smells great!
Exactly. Who needs candy when you can have cleanliness? And they have 15 other
That's
scents
gotta
to
be
choose
Zorin,
from.
right?
Here, take this, kid.
Oh, gee, thanks, mister!
And they offer super convenient subscription plans for when you decide you want more.
Did I just hear Zorin doing his Mickey Mouse voice, or?
Yeah, he was acting like a trick-or-treater. I don't know, I gave him some Dr. Squatch.
Treat yourself to some Dr. Squatch by going to the link below. And new customers can use code DSQDeadMeat to get 20% off on orders that are $20 or more. Okay, sorry about that.
All right.
How many malicious mascot murders will the cage deliver to us in 90 minutes or less? Let's find out and get to the kills.
All right.
The movie begins at Willy's Wonderland, where a couple wearing matching merch runs from an unseen assailant through Doctor Who hallways. The husband becomes our first kill when he's dragged off screen with a goofy scream. His wife doesn't make it much further before she's taken out with an Action Essentials blood splatter. The 8-bit opening credits play over Grindhouse-style footage of a macho muscle car, which speeds right into a title card. This sepia-tinged angry driving is cut short by suspicious road spikes, much to the chagrin of the car's gruff Ghost Rider, played by Nicolas Cage. Cage's unnamed protagonist is only credited as the janitor, Scrub style, but really, it's Nicolas Cage, so that's how I'll refer to him. Cage pops some pop while he gets a tow from a Slim Jim sucking mechanic named Jed. He drives Cage back to his shop, which is filled with more missing posters than a Dairy Maine telephone pole. But this is actually Hayesville, a town so small, it doesn't even have internet.
Yeah, we were gonna get it, but they just didn't.
Works mighty well for a horror flick, yep. Since Cage don't have the cash to fix his car, Jed tells him he can work off the dead at Willy's Wonderland, an abandoned family restaurant owned by Tex McAdoo. Though it takes place in Nevada, Willy's Wonderland was filmed in Georgia. The Family Fun Center was played by a desolate bowling alley in the Sprayberry Crossing Shopping Center north of Atlanta. Tex says that if Nick cleans the place overnight, he'll have his car fixed for him in the morning. That sound good, Cagester? He gets his uniform and meets the 8 resident animatronics: Artie Alligator, Siren Sarah, Cammy Chameleon, Gus Gorilla, Nighty Night, Ozzy Ostrich, Tito Turtle, and of course, Willy Weasel himself. The characters were designed by Kenneth Hall, who had prior experience making mascots. Their intro video package is set to an insufferable birthday song, an earworm on the level of the Banana Splits theme. It's your birthday, and we want you to have fun. It's your birthday, so let's party, everyone. Hoping that clip doesn't get me a visit from Christopher Copyright. That dude's
Same,
more Philly than Willy.
actually.
McAdoo leaves, wishing
Damn.
Cage luck and reminding him that this is a union shop.
Be sure to take breaks.
Sounds pretty good as far as indentured servitude goes, but the foreboding graffiti out front indicates this place ain't popular with the local kids. One would-be fire starter, Liv, even tried to burn the place down earlier, but she was stopped by the sheriff, who arrested her for attempted arson and for wearing the world's tightest pair of jeans. Sheriff Lund is actually Liv's adopted mom, so she takes her home and handcuffs her to a heater for a cool down. After Mom Cop leaves, Liv's generically cool friends show up. She tells them she saw Nick Cage earlier, and that they can't allow him to suffer the fate of One Night at Willy's, even if he was in that Wicker Man remake. Nick gets to cleaning all over the place, not noticing that he's being supervised. By a timer on his watch, he regularly takes breaks as instructed. Nothing like a cold can of punch to the face, which he also stocks the fridge with. I guess this job is more of an internship. He gets back to work, but can't shake the feeling he's playing red light, green light with Ozzy Ostrich. What's up, Big Bird? You fucking with me? Oh shit, wait, is that a no? I'm gonna face them your face! Nope, that's a yes. The Stone Cold protagonist is barely fazed by the freaky pheasant, fending off his pecs with a mop handle. I think Ozzy's the best looking animatronic because he's so clearly not a person in a suit. Instead, he's a rod puppet controlled by puppeteers in green screen suits, a technique we've seen a lot in the latest Chucky media. One of his puppeteers, BJ Geyer, previously controlled that Muppetized Ed Sheeran in the music video for Sing. He was also a puppeteer on 71 episodes of Crank Yankers.
Wow.
Ozzy manages to give Nick a vampire's kiss, but the cheek cut only uncages the beast. Nick breaks his mop apart and uses it to tenderize the bird, splattering black motor oil blood all over the floor he just cleaned. When he's not satisfied with that, Cage delivers a fatality. Wonder if he had to look up the code or if he already knew it by heart. For this kill count, I'm gonna take a page out of Zoran's Tome of Tremors and count the animatronics, but keep them as a separate tally from the human victims.
That's fair.
Apologies to the Banana Splits for not affording them the same respect. Nick grabs himself a fresh set of clothes and gives himself a silver suture. His next task is to clean a bathroom that would make Jigsaw blush, and he takes it down in yet another cleaning montage. What is this, an OxyClean commercial? He's briefly lured to the main floor when Willy and the band strike up a tune on their own, but he turns the power off on him. You never let Willy be Willy. Nick returns to the lavatory and finds a bloody message on the mirror he just cleaned. Come on! The grody graffiti was drawn by Gus Gorilla, who apparates out of nowhere to start an all-out primate fight! Gus goes full Gordy on Nick, with lots of the fight shot in Gorilla Snorri Cam. Snorilla Cam? Nick is battered around the bathroom like Fletcher Reed until turning the tables and curb stomping Gus, like this were Simian History X. He can have his urinal cake and eat it too. As he finishes tagging and bagging the animatronics, Nick's watch alarm indicates another break time. He spends it drinking punch and cleaning up a pinball machine he's found. A sexy pinball machine. Move over, Hellraiser and Puppet Master. There's a new pinhead in town. Originally, Cage's breaks were going to be spent with an arcade game, but it was cheaper and easier to build a custom-made Willy's Wonderland pinball machine. Outside, Liv and the Riot Squad show up with lots of gasoline. These characters were added solely to break up all the robot fights, and I think that's pretty obvious. The Teen Titans prepare to burn this puppy down, but Liv reminds them that Nicholas is still caged inside. The silent protagonist, for no discernible reason, opts to stay in the restaurant guarding this mess, so Liv says she'll go inside and get him out herself. Her party of 5 friends tells her she can't because it's too dangerous, but Liv just says, "Watch me." Liv frees and die-hards through an air vent to get inside, and her shimmy gets a stimmy when Artie Alligator comes after her. She barely crawls her way to safety and lands in a rainforest cafe-looking playroom. This fairy forest is home to Siren Sarah, a humanoid robot who can sling her way up the walls Reagan style. She's played by Jessica Graves, who has a BFA in dance from, Western Michigan, KZoo represent. Aside from Ozzy, the animatronics are actually people in foam latex suits, though some do have animatronic elements, like motor-controlled eyes and mouths. I know they had to use suits, because life-sized animatronics would be absurdly expensive, but it still takes away from the movie for me. I had the same issue with the Banana Splits movie. It's hard to accept the premise that these things are robots when they so clearly aren't. The suit performers do the best they can, and are convincingly robotic when they're performing on Willy's stage, but when it comes to the fights, their movements are just too fluid for me to suspend my disbelief.
Agreed.
Oh well, at least we get this footage of the Gus performer dancing like he was in the Clint Eastwood music video. Sarah Tarzan swings Liv off screen, and her screams attract the attention of her friends, who are outside smoking weed before exploring a haunted Chuck E. Cheese? Y'all are just asking to have a panic attack. Bad boy Bobby doesn't want to step up and tries to head back to Highwater, but his girlfriend Kathy decides to barrel ahead in an outfit that would not pass dress code. The group climbs onto the rooftop set from the room, where Liv lover Chris tries to form a plan to save his crush. But since Bobby tries to leave in literally every scene he has, he takes off to go home before Chris tackles him to the ground. It causes the roof to cave in, beneath them and also randomly the other people. Thank God for conveniently placed ball pits, am I right? They're joined by Liv, who I guess grew tired of leaping with sirens off screen, so she's here now. But careful, teens, you're in Willy's hidey hole. He'll mop up your blood from the inside. Liv's eager for round 2 with Sarah, but her efforts are halted by Nick Cage, who carries her like a sack of Huggies to the safety of about 5 feet away. The missing band members make the group realize that Nick has been slaying their demons. Dude really wants his car back. While Cage continues to clean, Liv fills him in. He's been sent here as a human sacrifice, something the town has been doing for 20 years. The restaurant was opened in 1996 by Jerry Robert Willis, played by Grant Kramer, kill count veteran thanks to Killer Clowns and New Year's Evil. Kramer also co-produced the movie, while his wife Olga played that woman from the opening scene. If his triple-named moniker wasn't a giveaway, Jerry Robert Willis was a serial killer. I like this flashback scene, especially as Liv says Jerry hired the most sick fucks he could find, and we see footage of them looking like this. Willis and his killer cohorts would dress up as the restaurant's mascots and host private parties for families before murdering them, as they did with this family of 4, Willy's Wonderland, where a kid can be a corpse. All those disappearances eventually tipped off the cops, but rather than being taken in, the group of 8 killed themselves in a satanic ritual inside their super happy fun room. The ritual transferred their souls into the animatronic robots. That's right, they went and emboweled themselves into a bunch of pizza mascots. 10 years later, Tex reopened the restaurant without changing the name or mascots, even though they were associated with a bunch of child murders. Good call, dude. And hey, while you're at it, why don't you open the Jeffrey Dahmer Hotel? A series of robot malfunctions and this one kid kill we see caused Willy's to close down once again. This movie had such a low budget, they could only afford a single set of suits for the animatronic characters. That meant, for continuity purposes, they had to shoot these flashbacks first while the suits were still pristine. Then they had to age them 20 years and make them look worn out, and pray that there'd be no need for reshoots after destroying them in the fights. The kid group realizes they're down 2 teens, since Bobby and Kathy have snuck off to suck off. And what better place than inside the room where the killers killed themselves?
Is it weird that I'm getting really turned on right now?
Yeah,
yes,
that is.
Yes.
While those 2 get pounding, the rest of their peers are called to the stage as Willy sings the best song in the movie.
6 little chickens at the end of the line. 6 little chickens will be just fine.
Willy was puppeteered by BJ Gower when he was a hand puppet and played by Yuri Stanek in the full-body costume, but he was voiced by the film's composer Imwa, who also wrote all the songs played by Willy's band. He gave Willy a sort of Christian Slater voice, with a Boston accent inspired by that shitheel Lampwick in Pinocchio.
You mean to tell me you take orders from a grasshopper? It's time to learn 6 little chickens.
Perfect.
Here we go.
Imwa also did some work in the music department for Benny Loves You, working alongside that film's director and composer, Carl Holt. The performance ends when one teen, Aaron, is skewered through the back by Ren Fair reject Nighty Night. Aaron didn't have too much going for him as a character, but he was played by former Vine star Christian Del Grasso. The teens scatter in the ensuing chaos, with Liv staying back to joust with the night. He takes out a couple of round tables, but before he can make Liv a dead girl, Cage tags in to finish the fight. Nick gets medieval on the knight's ass, ramming him repeatedly into a wall before decapitating him with his own sword. Unfortunately, Liv's friends aren't Ren faring nearly as well. Quiet guy with glasses Dan tries to hide in this seizure-inducing play place, but Sarah and another robot, Tito Turtle, rip into his belly like this
those
were Day
flashing
of
lights
the
get me
Dead.
every time.
Choke on him! Dan's actor, Jonathan Mercedes, also does stunts in addition to acting. Maybe that's why he was in a few episodes of Cobra Kai, like his Willy's co-star, Terrell Hill, who plays Bob. Speaking of Bobby, his and Kathy's sloppy sex gets sloppier when Artie chomps into his neck and puts him in a house of pain. Kathy...
One thing I absolutely thought was hilarious, that they're doing it in here, full of all of these killer robots, and then she gets surprised that one is trying to, or not trying to, but like moving, and then attacks
He
them.
does not try hard enough to get this door open, so by the time Nick kicks it down to get inside, both teens are already alligator appetizers. Nick makes quick work of the animatronic, pounding him to the floor and prying his jaws open like he were a V-Rex. Then he rips out his throat. Damn, Cage, you an hater. Meanwhile, Chris has dropped out of the main plot and holed up in this McDonald's play place. He calls Sheriff Lund, who's been twiddling her thumbs all movie with a rookie state cop named Evan.
I got a wife and kid on the way.
Oh man, Evan, you are so dead. At first, Sheriff Lund is content to leave the kiddos on red, but when Chris says Liv is also there, she begrudgingly gears up and heads out.
Put your balls on, Evan. We're going to Willy's.
Sheriff Lund is played by Beth Grant, last seen on the kill count as Ms. Kettlewell in Child's Play 2. She is definitely an asset to this film. On the drive over, Lund explains that the town tried to tear down Willy's long ago, but the robots put a stop to that, killing the contractor Eric Miller in his own home. Ignoring them didn't work either, since Willy and his crew began coming out and killing people in town. A series of flashbacks gives us 6 more kills for the count. 2 people at a hardware store, 1 lady smoking a cig outside, and 3 workers at an ice cream parlor, although that might just be grenadine for their ice cream treats. Instead of, banding together and killing the animatronics, like Nick Cage has proven is very possible, Sheriff Lund and the townspeople struck a bargain with their new robot overlords.
Leave our children be, leave our town be, and we will feed you.
Since then, the town's kept themselves safe by tricking unsuspecting outsiders into staying at Willy's, which is kind of like the plot in Leprechaun Origins. Man, did that movie suck. Lund tried to pick victims who wouldn't be missed, like horny youths and, this guy. Not sure what he did, but that's a good decapitation.
Sure
no one
is.
survived, except a single young girl, Liv, whom the sheriff then adopted. Chris is approached by Cammy Chameleon, who claims she's not like other girls.
You don't have to be afraid of me. I'm not the same as the others.
The obvious trap is obvious, and Nick and Liv arrive in time to see Cammy Yoshi her tongue around Chris and snap the James Vandergeek's neck. Nick gets ready for another cage match, but then his watch timer goes off. Whether out of compulsion or a deep respect for a fair day's wage, he takes a breather to drink more punch and play more pinball. We're never given a clear reason as to why Nick adheres so strictly to the break policy, or why he seemingly needs to drink the cans of soda. Apparently, it's supposed to be a video game metaphor. Each break, he levels up to take on tougher and tougher bosses. I guess that kinda makes sense if you squint hard enough, but again, it doesn't come across in the movie to me. Liv is left to fend for herself with her little Liv knife, but it doesn't do much against this tongue-in Terminator. Cage finishes up his game and comes to the rescue once again by wrapping plastic tubing around Cammy's neck and swing slamming her around the arcade. He drags her to the front to finish her off, just kind of punching Sarah and Tito when they try to stop him. Nick kicks through the front door, but his exit is halted by Sheriff Lund, who forces him back inside. She apologizes profusely to Willy Weasel.
Willie, this guy does not act for us. His actions should in no way reflect on the town of Hayesville. You know that, right, Willie?
I'm not sure what the problem is here. Why not just let Nick finish killing them? Doesn't seem that hard. Like, at all. Officer Evan is reluctant to go along with the sacrifice, but when Lund points out that Willy will go after his family, he dutifully handcuffs Cage. Lund tells Evan to take Liv home while she stays behind to make sure Willy's appetite is whetted. Liv objects in vain with a lazy Rorschach riff.
He's not trapped in here with them. They're trapped in here with him.
On the drive home, Liv convinces Evan to have a change of heart, but that's when a stowaway Tito yanks him out through the car window and kills him with some Tito's handmade murder. The turtle also yoinked the red shells out of that shotgun, so Liv uses it to home in on Tito's libido. With the keys tossed away by Tito, Liv opts to walk back to Willy's and out of this movie's third act. Back at the restaurant, Nick is confronted by Sarah and Cammy for a Pascal's Triangle of fun. An upbeat country rendition of Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes plays as Cage bobbles his head until the camera follows suit. Despite being handcuffed and outnumbered, Nick takes both ladies down with a headbutt and a leg sweep. Again, it does not seem like these things are that hard to kill. Dude literally has his hands behind his back. He incapacitates Sarah with Xenia Onatopp style, pinning her down under the unbearable weight of his massive, talent. After straight up busting through the police handcuffs, he spins Cammy's head right around, baby, right around. Kikillian the Chameleon. Determined to earn a working car, he gets back to cleaning once again. This movie is almost as much tidying time-lapse as it is robot murders. With the bodies tucked in for the night, the pinball wizard takes another break, this time giving us a Nick Cage improvised dance montage. This might very well be the highlight of the film. Sheriff Lund spots Cage bringing out the dead, so she ushers him back inside with a shotgun and misplaced anger.
Now we got 5 dead kids. Because of you!
Pretty sure those deaths are your fault, lady. Willy is tired of her self-righteousness as well, so he weasels his way behind her and straight up claws her in half. Holy shit, that was a fun one for show. Willy chucks Nick into a big red birthday button, setting off a kaleidoscope of colors and confetti. Nick recuperates in the kitchen, fashioning his broken mop and sack full of soda into a pair of melee weapons. Fight choreographer Charlie Parrish spoke highly of how much Cage already knew a bunch of different fighting techniques. The suit performers also deserve credit for having to film the fights with obstructed vision and restricted breathing, since their costumes weighed anywhere from 20 to 80 pounds.
My hands come to about here, so if I have to throw a punch at you, I have to make sure I stop back here.
Oh.
And then when I put the actual head on, my visibility becomes knees and floors.
Nick Cage beats the Willy out of Willy, not stopping until he's a bloody black mess. Okay, Cager, that's the last time you'll slap your Willy around. He finishes the kill by taking the weasel's face off. The next morning, Jen
like
and
that
Tex
one.
take Cage's car out for
Great
a
reference.
joyride, assuming the janitor is dead and gone. They're shocked to discover Cage alive and well as he puts on his leather jacket and strolls out to Lynyrd Skynyrd's Freebird. For real? A horror movie can't end with Freebird without evoking comparisons to the Devil's Rejects. And unless you've got something amazing planned, you don't want to be compared to that iconic ending. Liv finally makes it back to the movie and she joins Nick. I'm not sure if the relationship here is supposed to be more dad or daddy, but I guess it's a happy enough ending for this weird duo. With the animatronics dismantled, Tex and Jed make plans to reopen Willy's again? Are you serious?
For a
Good thing
fourth,
Siren
fifth,
Sarah's
sixth
still
time?
kicking, and the rude fucking doll uses a lighter to rock a fire explode these two meatheads to high heaven. I'll also count Sarah herself as dead from the same explosion. Sarah wasn't the last mascot standing though. Tito's still wandering around, nursing his bruised balls. The movie ends with Liv and Nick Cage running him down for one last kill. That's all, folks. How many people had a very unhappy on birthday at Willy's Wonderland? Let's find out. At the numbers, which I'm gonna count real good. It's the numbers. Yes, I'll count them like I should.
That was great.
I counted 34 human victims in Willy's Wonderland. There were 11 female victims, 22 male victims, and one unknown pair of legs in a flashback, giving us a 2-to-1 dude-to-lady ratio with a tiny sliver of gray. With a runtime of 89 minutes, that gave us a human kill on average every 2.6 minutes. Not bad. There were also 8 animatronic kills, with 6 of them male characters and 2 of them female. That left us with a 3-to-1 ratio for this mechanical pie, and an animatronic kill on average every 11.13 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest human kill to the guy in the flashback who was decapitated, because that head went flying. For animatronics, it goes to Artie Alligator. King Kong ain't got shit on Nick Cage. Dull Machete for lamest human kill will go to Chris, a lame bloodless kill for a lame gutless character. And for animatronics, it goes to Siren Sarah. I don't like the way it looks when she's launched backwards. And that's it. Willy's Wonderland came out in 2021 after a bit of a delay because, you guessed it, COVID. Until next time, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count.
Yeah, so this movie definitely had its moments, but I didn't really like it at all. The stuff I did like, though, Nick Cage was great. Some of the kills were pretty good, but that's kind of where it ends for me. I thought the characters were incredibly forgettable. I thought the dialogue was pretty bad. Not a lot. I don't think anybody really talks the way they did, throwing one-liners left and right, cliches left and right, and they were all kind of stupid to me. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this. So if you want to turn your brain off and watch a movie full of animatronics, it's only 90 minutes long. It's on Hulu. You can check it out there. Otherwise, I would probably stay away from this one. But that's going to do it for me here. And before I go, though, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my $5 now supporters on Patreon. Luchador Cruising, Wolverine 310, Multi-Disturbed 666, Jordan Bird, Lauren Davenport, Capster, Cronage, Amber K, Raymond Bright, Joshy, Chris Curtis, and Jeremiah McCarroll. And if you too like to have your name read at each and every one of my videos, plus many other fun goodies, maybe have me react to a past kill count or two, please head on over to patreon.com/TDMReactor, link will be right there, and a description with many different tiers for you to choose from. And if you'd like to have an easier way of getting in contact with me, maybe talk a little bit about Dead Meat, maybe talk a little bit about Willy's Wonderland, please head on over and join the channel Discord, also chat with others about other reactions that I've done, find out just a little bit more about me, or about this week's reaction schedule. And with that being said, comment down below, let me know what did you think about Willy's Wonderland. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Also want to see past reactions I've done to other Dead Meat videos. A nice playlist right over there for you. Share this video. Subscribe if you subscribed already. Ring notification bell because I've been new videos every single day. And I'll see you guys next time.